Hello and thanks for staying with us. The Controller General of Nigerian Customs Service has been speaking with top management of the service in Abuja. Also on customs reports, the federal operation in Zone A to accept goods worth millions of naira. Plus, more reports. I am Egeseme Engineer. Stay tuned. The Controller General of Nigerian Customs Service has urged customs officers to continue to promote trade among nations. He gave the advice in Abuja. He urged them to continue to operate with government policies as approved by the law.
Nigerian Customs Service, in collaboration with other border agencies, by the crucial roles of securing and facilitating trade, travel, transport through simplified, standardized, and harmonized procedures. Nigerian Customs Service automation process is promoting performance-based culture, resting on self-evaluation, objectivity, and entrenching mutual trust. NCS has in the last 3.5 years, undergone considerable shakes-up and other reforms programs that have turned the agency into a high-volume revenue source and a stricter enforcer of anti-smuggling laws. Revenue. While implementing the presidential 3Rs, and that is restructuring, reform, and raise revenue, management has persistently insisted on doing the right things to achieve the positive change Nigerians desire. Some of the actions taken includes the following. 1. Prompt dispensation of disciplinary cases, punishment for wrongdoing, and reward for hard work. 2. Strategic deployment of officers across customs formations nationwide to avoid over-familiarity that could lead to compromise. 3. Robust stakeholders engagement. 4. Greater interface in regional and global customs administration. 5. Upgrade in customs electronic platform, Nigeria Integrated Customs Information System, NICIS 1 to NICIS 2. Strict implementation of the extant laws governing import and export by the Tariff and Trade Department. And last but not the least, increasing disposition of officers and men to place national interest above self-interest. Interestingly, the combination of above and other strategic steps taken appears to have put the NCS on a winning path. Revenue generation by Nigerian Customs Service from 2015 continues to be in the increase. In 2015, Nigerian Customs Service generated 904 billion .072. In 2016, Nigerian Customs Service generated 898.6 billion. You witness a drop in 2016. And that was because in 2016, the 41 items were introduced, and therefore the volume of trade fell drastically. And as a result, the import also fell drastically. In 2017, without innovation and enforcement, Nigerian Customs Service generated 1,037 billion. And in 2018, which is just last year, Nigerian Customs Service generated 1,202 billion. This is a continuous rise, and this happened even without the equipments that we need. If we have the non-intrusive equipment well in place, it is our hope and of course desire that this revenue will double. We're looking forward to the deployment of those non-intrusive, and we assure the nation that our take will certainly rise by so large a number. Our experiences within these years have shown that with increased level of compliance from our stakeholders and integrity on the part of all operatives, the nation can earn more revenue needed to build the Nigerian economy. Suppression of smuggling. Though smuggling remains a challenge, the service three-layer security strategy, that is, residence officers of the command, Federal Operations Unit, and the headquarters strike force, continue to make smuggling unattractive to would-be smugglers. NCS reinvigorated and anti-smuggling operations have resulted in seizures of items with grave security, economic, and health implications. You will recall that Nigerian Customs Service seized 2,671 pump-action rifles in Lagos, 61 containers of tramadol and other controlled painkiller drugs in Lagos and Port Harcourt, ammunition in Minna, Niger State, and 2x40-feet containers of military wares in Onne, Port Harcourt. These deadly items seized by Nigerian Customs Service demonstrates clearly the service contribution to national economy and security. In all this, one interesting benefit of the ongoing reform is the growing attitudinal change. We are recording more operatives insisting in doing the right things, refusing to be compromised. A case in point was the seizure of the 40 containers arrest of persons with the 150 million bribe money. The refusal to be compromised shows that change is indeed gradually but surely manifesting in the service. Despite these successes, the Nigerian borders are still facing many challenges, such as 1. Porous borderlines, inadequate non-intrusive equipment, hostile border community dwellers, high level of non-formal trades, low implementation of the ECOWAS protocol on transit, and low level of compliance among international trade actors, and most importantly, too, the support given by border communities to smugglers. We have in the recent past been encountered with this phenomenon. It has now become an everyday affair. And I think it is time for us to warn the Nigerian Customs are henceforth will not hesitate to enforce the law and use the minimum force to extricate its officers. We have in the last couple of months been losing officers on a daily basis. And I think enough is enough. We will not take it anymore. If communities decide to be on the side of the criminals, they are also criminals, and we treat them as such. Above challenges, including the emerging trend of mob attacks against anti-smuggling agents, against the concept of smart border management in Nigeria. While the government is stepping up actions to equip us better, we call on stakeholders to support the service towards a secure, seamless, and transparent trade and travel across our borders. On the emerging dangerous trend of mob attacks against operatives on anti-smuggling duties, let me state here that NCS will no longer treat lightly any attempt to attack its officers on official duty. Consequently, parents, guardians, and indeed traditional rulers of border communities are enjoined to advise and call their people to order, and henceforth will not hesitate to use appropriate force to deal decisively with this disturbing trend.
You are watching the program Customs Report. The Assistant Controller General of Customs in charge of Zone A has commended the Apapa Customs Command for revenue generation in 2018. The Customs Boss says that the award given to the Customs Area Controller Apapa was timely. She speaks more on the award.
Congratulations, sir. Congratulations, sir.
I am full of joy to be here to present this award to to my brother and my colleague and my friend. And I want to specially thank the media for doing this. We are very grateful. The CGC is going to see this, and I can assure you, he will be very, very proud of one of his officers who had done exactly what he had been preaching: reform, restructure, revenue. And you know, you cannot do this successfully just on your own. People have to be carried along. Last year, when the press visited us at the zonal headquarters, and I was there, I thanked the press for what some of us used to term as bad press. But for me, these are the things that ginger us, that make us work harder, improve on those areas we are lacking on, and then we come out better.
Certainly, as somebody who is down to earth when it comes to issues of his civic responsibility, I was asking myself, what is the award for? What have I done? Luckily, I know I'm somebody who has this principle that whatever I'm supposed to do in the course of executing my duty, it is the right of my nation for me to do it, because I'm being paid to do that, and it is part of the contractual agreement to save my motherland. All the same, I realize at the same time that you are being recognized on two different dimensions. When you do something wrong, you are easily noticed. Similarly, when you do something right, you are easily noticed. So to dust down my kind of thoughts, I said, okay, let me listen to the award organizers. Let me find out what is it about. And thank God I had it is on issue of integrity that I have been recognized to have a high level of integrity. Which is,
you said we should just find out from you.
remember a few minutes ago I told you the issue of performing your duty. As a custom officer, it is duty bound in you to make sure you protect the territorial integrity of your country. That's why when you are talking about the armed aspect of our duty, we enforce that. And when you are talking about the economic aspect, we make sure we collect duty to the best of our ability. So if you have that within your mind, at the back of your mind, as a custom officer, you should be able to draw up a plan of performance. And every now and then you make sure you gauge yourself and see your level of performance. It's just like what one of my malams in one of the Friday prayers I attended, he was able to tell us that every day we talk about day of judgment. But in reality, every day is day of judgment. All you need to do is, we say 5 daily prayers a day as Muslims. He said, from the early morning prayer to the afternoon prayer, ask yourself, how many good things have you done? And how many bad things have you done? Then score yourself, by yourself, not God this time around. Then from that afternoon prayer to late afternoon prayer, how many goods have you done? And what are your wrongs within that period? Give yourself scores. Up to the last prayer before you go to bed. And by the time you are going to bed, draw up the marks and find out Are your goods better than your bads? Already you can judge yourself by then. So certainly, in the course of performing our duties, you have to have a kind of level of parameter under which your performance level will be gauged by you yourself, even before any other person. And you can only achieve that if first you put discipline within your own mind. You give yourself the do's and don'ts. Then others follow. I think this is part of what we have as our key to success. It means encouragement. It means trust. It means confidence. And it means level up, continue, and think more and more to make the nation move forward positively. That is what it means to me.
The Customs Area Controller in charge of FOU Zone A has intercepted goods worth millions of naira from smugglers operating in the country. The controller said that this men will continue to implement government policies in issues of seizure of consignment.
We have 39,664 bags of rice. When you do your calculation, you get the tonnage, or you get the trailers. Value at 525,639,022 kobo. Indian hemp, 3,792 kg. Then vegetable oil, we have 2,887 jerrycan. Value at 31,179,000. We have textiles, that is including used clothes, whatever you call it. We have 2,520 pieces, that is called bell. There's some big bell that cannot even pass through the door. So maybe when you go around, you'll see it. Then we have unprocessed wood that is not allowed to get out of the country. That one we have only 5 by 20 containers, which is there in our store. When you go there, you'll see it. We have used tires. We have 1,439 pieces of used tire. You know the danger of used tire. So it's better you go and buy a new one. Then we have poultry products, which we cannot keep for you to come and see because of the nature is a perishable item. When it comes, we delay it for 2 or 3 or 5 days before we destroy it. And before we destroy it, we call our sister agency to witness the destruction. Within that period, we have 2,837 cartons, value at 23,830.80 kobo. We have compressors, used compressor, that is for air condition, which is not allowed. We have 180 pieces, value at 6,480,000. Then we have tramadol. This is where I want to say more about. We talk of Indian hemp. Then we're now going to talk about the tramadol. Last 2 weeks ago, you see all over the world they are talking about how many containers? In Apapa and Tinkan. Here, our own is only 1 container. But because we look at the danger, so we decide to do our job. Among of you here, I don't think anybody will reject 50 million. I rejected it. It's not that I rejected it, I collected it on behalf of the container. And I handcuffed the owner of the container with the money as SBIT and sent it to Abuja. This to show you that yes, no compromise with anything danger to the health of the nation. We go to Pangolin, you know about Pangolin. It's not much we have, but we try. We have 17 sacks, worth 115 million naira. It's something. Then we have 34 vehicles of different brands. Maybe you have seen them there. Few of them are on detention because maybe by next week the time will lapse. It's not that when you seize the vehicle, where you store the vehicle, you seize it immediately. No. You detain it and give it a grace of 2 weeks for the owner to bring the documents. If the documents are correct, go ahead and release the vehicle. If the documents are not correct, then you seize it and send it for condemnation. It has become a government property. So that's why you see, most of the time you ask question, where are the suspects? they will not come back. Because he know he don't have paper. If you go and bring a column paper, I discover it's column, that he's not going back. Then I will arrest him with the vehicle. That's why most of the vehicle we have, we call it abandoned seizures. Yes. So this vehicle I'm talking about, the value is 784,411,000.45 kobo. That is the value of the vehicle we have. This is the third press conference I have for you. When I first came, you know, we have almost 13 bulletproofs. So if I give you the total value of the item we arrested, both Indian hemp, vehicles, rice, turkey, and whatever, 5.1 billion within 4 months of my arrival here. So that is the achievement I have. But the happiest one among them is this Indian hemp. Plus this tramadol.
The national president of Association of Nigerian Customs Agents has continued to commend the Nigerian Customs Service for a job well done in 2018. The Anaka boss also said Nigerian Customs Service should also continue to improve on lecture by the management in the last 5 years. It speaks more on the number of issues.
Since my 31 years in freight forwarding industry, this is the worst period of time on total logistics system. This is the worst period of time of transportation in Nigerian ports. This is the worst period of time of our business. And I will tell you that it's not good for our business to suffer this kind of losses, because we are losing so much money. Federal government has actually not done so properly on the road networking and the problems of the road repair. Actually, the trucks too are very outdated, dilapidated, and not roadworthy. And let me tell you too that before now we used to get consignments to ports, from port to Lagos Island, probably on 70,000–80,000 naira. But today, 500–450,000 naira, you cannot even see a good truck to take over. You cannot even see the road because the truck will take almost 2–3 weeks to access the port. So it has been a very negative aspect of our business. You know, the people that suffer the most is the back end, the last people that are actually the final consumers of these goods and services. And they're actually paying because people are including those transportation, high profit transportation into the businesses, and they are now putting it to the final consumers. And things are actually very high. Like our office, like my own office, we don't consider any pricing on the transportation. I will charge you and I will tell you to take care of transportation. If you get me a truck, and I will get consignment. But if you're a very close customer to me, what I do is to tell you the truth. This is the price of the customer, the transportation that you pay. It's ridiculous. It's very ridiculous. It's actually against the principle of our business, and we have to look into it properly. Otherwise, we run out of this business very soon.
Yeah, you've been here for like 31 years, as you said. Is there other solution as a body, and not as a body, you want to give to the federal government?
Yes, other solution is to expand the other ports to reduce the strength of Lagos Port, because Lagos Port has been so stretched because the roads are not there. If you expand ports like Warri ports, if you put in the Kogo port, even on HSC ports, even to encourage other bonded terminals from eastern zones so that they can now reduce the inflows of goods and services in Lagos. And again, making sure that the roads are actually expanded, because if you don't do that, I don't know what else to do. The rail should be encouraged seriously. Like, I'm a director of Inland Container Terminal, and I'll tell you we are not using rails because it's not working properly. And like I told you, I'm another director of Anambra Container Terminal. If they encourage those Anambra Container Terminals to have a very standard bonded terminals and the dry ports, they will now go for it, and they will decentralize the whole players. I think that should be the very first thing the federal government should do.
Just before the end of this week edition of the program, Customs Report, we brought you a report where just what billions of naira was accepted by Nigerian Customs Service. For me, Igeseme Itinye, thanks for watching.